us okay? Lauren, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting of the Select Special Ethics Commissioner and Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee to order. I'm Tanny Al. I'm the MLA for Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo and the chair of the committee. I'd ask that members and those joining the committee at the table introduce themselves for the record, and then I'll call on those joining us remotely. I'm going to begin to my right.
It's MLA Glenn Van Dyke in Athabasca Barhead Westlock.
MLA Shane Getson, Lexington Parkland.
Nolan Dick, MLA for Grand Prairie.
Janice Irwin, Edmonton Highlands Norwood.
Becky Wright, MLA for Edmonton Beverly Clareview.
Irfan Sabir, MLA, Calgary Buller McCall.
Thank you so much for that. And on the phones, Mr. Dack, you want to lead us off, please?
Lauren Dack, MLA for Edmonton McLeod.
Thank you so much. Ms. Petrovic?
Chelsea Petrovic, MLA for Livingston McLeod.
Thank you so much for that. Ms. Pitt?
Angela Pitt, MLA, Airdrie East.
Ms. Pitt, can you, we'll need you to see you on camera as well.
She may not be able to. She's on the phone.
Oh, did you call in?
You're gonna. I called in. Yeah, give me a minute to switch devices.
Okay.
And I'll give you a camera.
Thank you very much. While we're waiting, I'm just going to note that Mr. Getson will be substituting for Mr. Steffen for the remainder of the committee's mandate.
Question?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So why is that the case, given that I recall conversations earlier in our, I'll try to find the date if I can, I just wasn't able to find it in time, where we said we would not be having substitutions. So can you just explain why that direction has changed and why Mr. Getson is here instead of Mr. Steffen? Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Sabir.
Also, if I could add, essentially now we are at a stage where we will be making decisions, and those who participated in the process, they will be better able to and informed to participate in those decisions. So I don't think that it is appropriate at this stage for Mr. Getson to replace some member who was part of the process all along.
Okay, thank you for that. It is an official substitution that was available to the government side under the rules, existing rules, and it is a permanent substitution, so Mr. Steffen won't be able to attend any future meetings.
But that's the concern that we agreed that after a certain point, once the interview process starts, there would be no substitution.
Yeah. Chair? I found the email, sorry, it took me a moment there. Please remember that this is from Jody on February 7th. Please remember that the committee has authorized remote participation during meetings, but committee members have also agreed to avoid using substitutions. So that is her written direction, and that is the direction that we all agreed upon at one of the initial, I believe the inaugural meeting of this search committee. And again, nothing against Mr. Getson, but as my colleague, Mr. Sabir, has pointed out, we've all been engaged. We spent lots of time together during constituency week, debating and deliberating, and had a lot of great conversations as a committee. So I'm very confused and a little bit alarmed as to why there would suddenly be a substitution. Thank you.
Angela, can you hear us okay? Angela, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Just introduce yourself for the record, please. Yes, we can see you.
Angela Pitt, MLA, Airdrie East.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's return back to our regular conversation. So the question was just regarding the substitution. The substitution is still within the rules that were provided to us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going by written email and I'm going by my stellar memory of our conversation where we all agreed that we wouldn't be having substitutions. So just putting it on the record that, that our side is very concerned about this. And again, why would we have made that decision as a committee if to suddenly change it now? That's quite concerning to all of us.
Noted. Thank you very much for that. A few housekeeping rules to address before we turn to the business at hand. Unless we move in camera, committee proceedings are being live streamed on the internet and broadcast on Alberta Assembly TV, and committee members are encouraged whenever possible to have your camera on when you are speaking. The audio and video stream and transcripts of meetings can be accessed via the Legislative Assembly website, and please set your cell phones and other devices to silent for the duration of the meeting. Would a member move a motion to adopt the agenda, please? Mr. Van Dyken moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner and Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee approve the proposed agenda as distributed for its April 23rd, 2024 meeting. All in favor of? Please say aye.
There's no discussion on the agenda?
Yeah, we can. No, if there, yeah, we can open that up.
Yeah. I think with respect to agenda as well, that although the committee is tasked with looking for 2 independent officers of the legislature, but this meeting only includes one of them. I'm just wondering why is that we're specifying that we will.
Oh, because we have some new information based on the candidates. So this is a quick update on that.
Okay.
So if they approve the agenda, we could just minutes.
Okay. So my understanding is everything that we're about to proceed with is a fair standard. Did you wish to change the agenda?
Okay.
Okay. With that, Mr. Van Dyken moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner, Chief Electoral. Sorry. Oh, Mr. Dack, go ahead.
Thank you. Before we proceed, I thought, given that we had, as a committee, agreed that substitutions would be really strenuously avoided, and now that, notwithstanding that it's within the rules, I think it's the least that one could ask for as a committee member is an explanation as to why the substitution took place. I think that's a reasonable request, given how strongly we all agreed as a committee to avoid substitutions.
Can we just continue on with the motion that's on the floor? And then we can discuss this afterwards?
Sure, let's do that, but let's make sure we do discuss it, please. I think it's, we're owed that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Again, Mr. Van Dyken moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner and Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee approve the proposed agenda as distributed for its April 23rd, 2024 meeting. All in favor of? Please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed in the room? On the phones, Mr. Dack,
Aye.
Ms. Pitt, Ms. Petrovic,
Aye.
Aye.
can you, for the sake of any voting, can you please make sure that your cameras are on?
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Petrovic?
Aye.
Thank you very much for that. Carried. The motion is carried. All right. So we have draft minutes from the last 4 meetings available for consideration today. We're going to need a separate motion for each set of minutes, beginning with the March 25th meeting. Are there any errors to note? If not, would someone move to approve these, please? So the first one is for March 25th.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Van Dyken moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner and Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee approve the minutes as distributed of its meeting held on March 25th, 2024. All in favor of, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Sorry, all in favor on the phones, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? Seeing none, that motion is carried. Next, we have the minutes for the April 4th meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I can make that motion.
Mr. Van Dyken moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner and Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee approve the minutes as distributed of its meeting held on April 4th, 2024. All in favor of, please say aye.
Aye.
On the phones,
Aye.
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 all opposed. Hearing none, that motion is carried. Next, we have the minutes for April 5th. Do I have a motion to approve? Mr. Dick moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner and Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee approve the minutes as distributed of its meetings held on April 5th, 2024. All in favor of, please say aye.
Aye.
On the phones,
Aye.
Aye.
all opposed. Seeing none, that motion is carried. Finally, we have the minutes for April 8th. Do I have a motion to approve? Mr. Dick moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner and Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee approve the minutes as distributed of its meeting held on April 8th, 2024. All in favor of, please say aye. On the phones,
Aye.
Aye.
all opposed. Seeing none, that motion is carried. Okay. Today, we're going to be discussing the recruitment of the Chief Electoral Officer only. To maintain the confidentiality of the applicants, it would be appropriate to move in camera. Can I have that motion, please?
Before that, can we please address Mr. Dack's question?
Can we do that in camera?
That's. Say that
I
again.
think
Sorry.
substitution is on record,
Yeah.
and Chair,
Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. We can.
Yeah, does someone else-
the issue with substitution is, with all due respect, that the matters that would be deliberated on at this point, MLA Getson will not be privy to all those things.
Exactly.
And yet, MLA Getson will be participated in a decision-making process that he has no background, he didn't participate in. So it's pretty much against, I guess, principles of fundamental natural justice, like in, I guess, court proceeding. To give you an example, if a judge didn't hear an appeal, he's not supposed to write that decision. And at the time, even when judges retire, if they have heard some case, they will take time to write those decisions because they heard that. So it's similar here, that member didn't hear, he shouldn't be able to participate in that decision-making.
Can we have the clerk weigh in on the rules?
Alrighty. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess I would just note two things. So I'm going to read, first of all, directly from the minutes of our first meeting, in which it does say, committee members also agreed that outside of exceptional circumstances, only those present for all candidate interviews would participate in the final selection process. This was agreed to, however, it was not done by a motion because the standing orders do permit these substitutions to occur.
Yeah, and thank you for that. Thank you for that, Jody. And again, I'm certainly not throwing you under the bus, but again, we did agree, and we had that conversation as a committee. We put it was put into writing, and so I guess my hope is we will get an explanation that this is exceptional circumstances, given the agreement that we had all come to as a committee. Because I do think that if the shoe were on the other foot and one of us were substituted out, I don't think you'd be supportive either. So if we can hear those exceptional circumstances, that would be great.
I think that's probably a little bit more of a personal matter that this committee doesn't need to be discussing.
Then it's not exceptional if it's just personal matter.
Well,
Mr. Van Dyken.
I would suggest to you that any personal matter is an exceptional circumstance for each individual around the table. and to say that a personal matter is not exceptional circumstance would be to dismiss the concerns of an individual. So I take very much that comment as being questioning the individual and their reputation. And
I think
would
without going-
suggest that is not appropriate. at this
Without
time.
going too much into that, our main objection is not that part. Main objection is that a person who didn't hear or was part of deliberations will now be participating in decision-making that he didn't participate in the process in, doesn't have that information, wasn't part of interviews, and that's fundamentally unfair. It's just a question of basic fairness, natural justice.
And again, we all spent many, many hours together, right? And we spent a lot of time deliberating and going back and forth. So I just, again, as my colleague just noted, I think it's an issue of fairness here.
Mr. Chair, can I move that we go into camera?
We object to that.
Sorry, say that again, please. Sorry, say that again, please, Ms. Pitt.
I'd like to move a motion that we move into camera.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to move that Angela Pitt moves that the Select Special Ethics Commissioner, Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee, including appropriate staff from the Legislative Assembly Office, move in camera. Can I get a vote on this? All in favor of, please say aye.
Aye.
On the phones,
Aye.
all opposed? On the phone,
Nay.
that motion is carried in favor. So just excuse us while we give staff a moment to evacuate the room. now back on the record. Do members have anything for discussion under other business? Seeing none, the next meeting has been scheduled for April 26th. Will a member make a motion to adjourn, please? Mr. Dick moves that the April 23rd, 2024 meeting of the Select Special Ethics Commissioner, Chief Electoral Officer Search Committee be adjourned. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. On the phones?
Aye.
All opposed? Seeing none, that motion is carried. Thank you very much. This meeting is adjourned.